And let's go. Hello again. My name is Natasha Nurse. I'm the owner and co-founder of Dressing Mermaid, which is a coaching and consulting business. Essentially, I talk a lot about fashion and how you can use it as a tool of empowerment for your own personal career life. So I'm really excited to not only be the brand ambassador for StyleForIt, but to be able to do content for this brand, like these live streams. And if you are familiar with seeing my face again, I've done some videos with one of the women who has a shop on StyleForIt. Her name is Faith Costa. She's a model and artist and activist and also an influencer on the platform of StyleForIt. So we do a lot of really fun content, and so I'm glad that you're tuning in today. And if you can't watch us on the live, please feel free to watch us on the replay and share. All right, so I talked a little bit about me. Now let's talk a little bit about StyleForIt before we get into the program today. So if you're not familiar with this platform, it's a really cool new platform. It's the only platform dedicated to plus size women sizes 12 to 32. I'm going to repeat that, 12 to 32. It's a really great range because anyone who's familiar with being in the plus world, typically plus stores or plus brands or platforms kind of stop at the 22, 24 range. Not StyleForIt. StyleForIt goes 12 to 32. And it's a site where you can not only buy, but you can also sell clothing. So it's a consignment place for new and pre-owned fashion. And I have my own shop, as well as I've purchased clothes that I've really loved and have incorporated just very recently. So we'll get to that. So with that, let's get into talking about how to find your personal style. So this is, I think, something that a lot of women grapple with because you're trying to figure out who you are with the world, with the fashion that you wear, right? Whether we're talking about what you're wearing at work, what you wear on a date, what you're wearing when you're casually kind of running around town, going to the bank, picking up the kids, right? The lives that we live. How is fashion making its way and kind of supporting the life that we're living? And I think a big part of picking out your outfits is centered around the type of style that you're defining or that you have defined for yourself. So I have a couple of tips that I want to kind of go through as to figuring out what does personal style mean for you, and then how can we make changes, and then of course some styling tips, and then that's it. Okay, so first advice, or first thing I think you have to do is you have to really look at what are the rules that apply to you. And what do I mean by that? So some people will say there are no fashion rules, right? And I agree completely wholeheartedly with that, if that like kind of works for you. Some people are a little bit more rigid in how they dress themselves or what they want to put on their bodies. So I think you personally have to identify, what is fashion meaning to you? Meaning, do you like to shop by your body type or body shape? And what do I mean by that? Body shaping, the common kind of 5 body types out there, we all kind of have seen it. And if you haven't, I'm happy to talk about that in a greater detail. Just put that in the comments if you are confused about that. But the 5 common body types that you definitely see tons of content around is the pear shape, right? That's the person who has like kind of the bottom half is heavier. I'm kind of more of like a high-waisted pear shape. Then you also have the apple shape, right? And then you have the rectangular shape. You have the hourglass shape, which is the quote-unquote beloved, most desired body shape, right? Because it's the most balanced. And then you also have the inverted triangle shape, right? Where it's kind of, think about the triangle upside down, right? So do you believe that you want to dress and or shop in accordance to your body type? I recommend it. I do it for myself, but not everyone does. So you have to figure out if that applies to you. Other types of fashion, quote unquote, rules that you may think about for yourself is, what about color preferences? There's tons of information out there that says if you kind of shop with colors that look better on your tone, your skin tone, and kind of the vibe that you're going for in whatever outfit you're putting together, does that apply to you or not? Or do you not care and you're going to wear any color that you feel like? You got to decide. And then also seasonal rules, right? Like, don't wear white after Labor Day. Does that apply? Does that not apply? That's going to totally be up to you. So I think the first step is just definitely identifying if there are rules that you want to live by. What are those rules, and are you living by those rules, right? Next, get some intel, right? So what do I mean by that? A lot of us, especially women, I think we don't know like literally what's in our closet. That's a problem, because we're going to continue to shop and we're going to continue to try to put together outfits for ourselves on a daily basis, right? And for certain looks that we're going for. But do we really know what is in our closet? If you don't know what's in your closet, then you're not shopping according to the needs that you have or that you're even aware of, right? So what do you have? What do you love? What do you don't love? What fits? What doesn't fit? Do the clothes you have in your closet match the preferences and quote unquote rules that you want to live by? If not, and if you don't know those answers, then you've got to spend time deeply getting in that closet of yours. I have recently spent quite a bit of time going in the closet, kind of purging, taking things out, putting them in my own StyleForIt shop on StyleForIt.com, and then also getting rid of things that are not in good condition and I just need to kind of, part ways with it, right? But get in there, figure out what do you have. And I'm not just talking about clothes, ladies. I'm talking about shoes. I'm talking about jewelry. Like, get organized, get some intel. What do you have? And from there, you can figure out, oh, okay, so what are the clothes that I have that does fit, doesn't fit? What are the clothes that adhere to the quote unquote rules that I want to live by, right? What are the clothes that I think will work well for work looks, right? What are the clothes that I always go to? Some of us have like go-to items that we always hit, right? When we're going to a business meeting, it's, oh, gotta have this blazer, gotta have these trousers, right? What are those items in our closet? And then after we do that, let's assess our looks, right? Like if any of you have kind of looked at fashion lookbooks, what is your fashion lookbook, right? What does, if someone were to take pictures of the looks that you give Monday through Friday, Friday through Sunday, right? Like everyday looks, what would those look like? What do you wear on an average day basis? What do you like to wear to work? What do you like to wear out at date night? What do you like to wear casually when running around life? Like what does your fashion lookbook look like? Because from there, then you can make an even bigger assessment in figuring out what your style is, right? The whole talk today is about how to find your personal style. A lot of that is going to center around what do you have? What do you keep wearing? What are the looks that you're crafting? And then from there, make an assessment and figure out, oh, okay, this is the type of style I'm trying to effectuate. And then from there, you can decide if you want to change that, if you want to supplement that look, if you want to add to it, right? All of that good stuff. So an interesting article that I came across, I'm not sure if you're familiar with, is on herinterest.com, like herinterest.com. And the article is titled 20 Types of Fashion Styles You can help you, 20 types of fashion styles can help you identify which looks, right, you're adhering to. And so the article is written by Michelle Kelgord, and she lists the 20 different styles. So just to name a couple for you guys, there's the sporty look, right? There's the trendy look, there's casual, there's elegance, there's exotic, there's vibrant, there's rocker, sexy, punk, preppy, elegant, I said, girly. There's also tomboyish, right? Or, that term might be a little bit tricky, but maybe there's also like more gender ambiguous or gender fluid looks, right? There's the 50s, 70s, so dated, certain like 80s looks, things like that. More cowgirl, girl next door, right? What are those styles that you like, don't like? And I think that also to keep in mind, when crafting your style, it's not one or the other, right? Like I like sporty, but I also like elegant, and I also like casual, and I also like preppy, and I also like vibrant, and I also like Afrocentric. That wasn't like listed there, but that's something I would add to it, right? So more culturally, or I guess that goes into vibrant or exotic, So I think that when we're thinking about style, it's not like boxes in a vacuum. They can blend together, and you can blend different styles together in creating your own personal look, right? So if you do like a more vibrant, sporty look, that's a whole blend that you've created for yourself, right? Next, I think an important part of this conversation, and I think why the fashion world is the way that it is now and how even retailers are communicating differently with us, is one very big word: influencer, right? I'm an influencer. I mentioned Faith Costin, influencer. Different bloggers, vloggers, content creators, celebrities. They all impact the fashion that we wear on our bodies, because why? We consume content that shares, right? When J-Lo wears a certain outfit to an award show, and then all of a sudden you have women going to prom, girls going to prom with outfits that's similar to that. It's not happenstance, right? We're affected by how we style ourselves and how people style us, and we put that in the world, and it kind of creates little tumbles in the fashion spectrum, right? And then that's how you see trends get perpetuated, how it gets influenced into certain looks. And so those are people that you want to think about when you're defining your personal style, because if there are certain bloggers or influencers, content creators, or celebrities that are dressing and showing you how to dress, and you really appreciate the content they're giving you, then maybe you want to apply that in the style that you're defining for yourself, because just because you love what someone else is doing doesn't mean you can't do it yourself, right? Or that you can't incorporate that into the style you're creating. So that's something to think about. And then I think the next piece of how to define or how to create your own personal style or find your personal style really is a fashion action plan. So what do I mean by this? Earlier, I mentioned you should get intel by diving deep into into your closet, right? And really figuring out what don't you like, what doesn't fit, what is not working with the preferences that you have. And then you know what I think you should do with those items? I think you should pull them out, and you should create a giant pile for yourself. And even if it's one or two items, that's fine. But most of us, if you're like me, then it was like literally a pile of like 25 things, if not more. And you know what you do? Sell them. Sell them, sell them, sell them. If they're in great condition and you are a plus size woman like myself, sizes 12 to 32, I wonder where you should go. StyleForIt.com. You should totally, absolutely sell the clothing that you do not wear, that doesn't fit, that you don't love, it doesn't fit your style personality. Sell it on StyleForIt.com, and I'll put that in the comment section here at the end of this, so you have that. That's one thing, because why? That's money already spent, ladies. Like, it's literally money hanging in your closet that you are doing nothing with other than like literally letting it collect dust, because you're not wearing it and it's taking up room. And I don't know if you saw my previous video that I did, but there's real great power to decluttering your life and decluttering your closet. So it's bigger than just like, oh, Tasha, I could make some money. No, but yeah, you can make some money, but you can also like kind of create a sense of clarity and calmness in your life by getting rid of things that you don't need. So that's one thing to do, right? Another thing is, based on all the assessments that I've talked about so far, looking at what are the rules that apply to me and how I dress myself, looking at what are my preferences, what are styles out there that I already adhere to or I admire and maybe I haven't tried, what are the influencers who and how they're dressing, what would I like to do to incorporate that into my style. Then ultimately you can what? You can shop in accordance to the needs that you have. You can shop in accordance to what you need to supplement the style. If you want to change things up, if, like I mentioned, if you want to blend things, right? I think my style that I like would be chic and casual. I definitely like sporty. I definitely like elegant, vibrant. I like Afrocentric, right? So I like clothing that is going to pop and it's going to add with my big hair, right? But also I like clothing that also can kind of layer between being business. I can wear to a business meeting, but then also maybe take off the jacket and go and have a nice night on the town, right? So I like functionality is a big part of this styling that I like for myself as well. I also like a lot of bright, vibrant, sparkly, like girly. I have a couple of tutus that I got because I never wore it as a child. I always thought I couldn't wear it. And then as I've grown into being a woman, being an influencer, having that level of confidence and being a person of authority for other people when it comes to, no, you have to live life with how you want to live it. I made sure to get that tutu because that was something I always wanted as a kid, never had it. Now I wear it and I love incorporating it in my style because it adds that fun element, that like funky, cool, like of course, like it's a tutu, like why not, right? So I think you have to figure out based on the assessments, what do you need to do? And of course, go to StyleForIt.com. If you're plus size, again, sizes 12 to 32, you can find items that you can buy for yourself, you can buy for others, you can sell what you don't want and what you don't need in your closet. It's an all around just really dope platform for that. So recently, I'll give you my own testimonial, right? As a brand ambassador, obviously, I'm always looking on the site for things that I need. And recently, because of New York Fashion Week, there were a couple of events that I needed to go to. And, you know, I felt like I looked in my closet and I didn't have an item that just popped. And so for me, I was just really this like fall period, I was really looking for some more sparkly items, things that just really kind of just made, I don't know, just made the outfit just like, wow, right? That wow factor. Guess where I found items? I found the items on StyleForIt.com for very affordable price points, right? I think I got 2 Michael Kors items that were greatly discounted, and it had that sparkle effect that really just added that wow factor to my outfit. And it's something that I hadn't necessarily worn before. So it kind of fit a couple of categories for me. It fit the category of something where I hadn't worn it before. So I was trying something new, which I think is important when defining and creating style for yourself. But then also, it gave me that look that I was going for, right? Which is when I'm going out, I'm looking for something that is wow, that's professional, not too showy. I'm of the belief that you can be as sexy and beautiful as you want without having to show everything. So making sure that the cut really fits me well, nothing's too tight, nothing's too revealing, but also it has really dynamic, vibrant colors and texture and materialistic, like its materials, it kind of works well with where I'm going and, you know, being able to dance or walk around, things like that. So loved it, loved it, loved it. Now, some styling tips I'd like to go over before we have to call this an end. I hope you're really enjoying and totally taking notes, right? I think that fashion on a Sunday is always fun to talk about because it gets you ready for the week, you know? So my styling tips are, you know, things that you can think about. When it comes to creating and finding your own personal style, number one thing you can't remember is there's no wrong way of doing this. It's your style. So you have to kind of imagine that, like, if this is kind of a painting that you're making, there's no wrong brush stroke that you can do. It's your painting. It's going to be whatever it's meant to be, right? So remember that. I think sometimes when we're doing things, we get concerned about, am I doing this the right or wrong way? No wrong way to live fashion. You just live it. You just do it. So go out there and try to figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and keep moving, right? Like, and things that you love, don't get too caught up with only doing things in your comfort zone. Always try to, and this is my next step, be daring, be bold, try something new. When I try something new, I'm always really excited about the effect that it's had in the outfit, in the pictures, right? If you do a lot of public events like myself, you want to make sure that you're wearing things that photograph well, right? Or that film well. So trying new things are going to help you in creating that look that you need for yourself. Next, put in the work. I know that some women I've spoken to get really frustrated with fashion and they're like, oh, I can't find stores that work for me, or, it's too much work to try to figure it out. First of all, everything in life is work. So if that's new to you, I'm sorry to burst that bubble for you, but you have got to put in work like anything else in this world. Fashion doesn't just happen, right? You've got to parse through clothing. You've got to look online, use social media, maybe do some research, figure out your size, your measurements, right? Like maybe even go and have to get things tailored. Put in the work. Do not be afraid to put in the work, because why? It's worth it. It's for you. What is more important or more valuable than catering to your needs? Nothing. And no one supersedes that. You are the most important person in your life. And again, if you don't know that, I'm happy to drop that nugget for you today. So put in the work and don't get frustrated. Get determined. Get vindicated in the fact that if you couldn't find something one place, find it elsewhere. If you couldn't even figure out what works for you, look it up. Do the research. But get determined, I would say, in doing what you need to do for your style, because it may not be easy, but it doesn't mean that it's not worth it, because you're always worth it. All right. Next, spend the time in your closet, ladies. Every couple of weeks or months, go through there, check things out, because a lot of times we're so quick to go into the store or go online and go shopping, but we don't know what we have. We don't know what we're utilizing, what we're making the most of. So always, even if you have to put it in your calendar, just a monthly closet check-in, right? You can just put it like that. Maybe you're just gonna, on a monthly basis, just constantly look in there, spend time in your closet. I'm telling you, I've been spending more time doing this, and I've really been able to save money, but then because I'm not just buying things that I'm like, oh, I don't have it. Yes, you do. You have 7 of them. Stop it. Buy the things that you need. Don't buy the things you already have. Buy things that you haven't tried. Buy things that you can supplement and add to an outfit, right? But all of that is really going to come down to that intel that you get from your closet. So spend time with your closet, ladies. Next, dress for you and the life you want to live, right? I think that's important, because I think a lot of us, depending upon what you do in your career, your fashion is going to be reflective of that. You're going to have pieces that work for work. You're going to have pieces that do the day to night look. You're going to have pieces that for date night, pieces for casual wear. But either way, make sure that you're dressing for the life that you want, in the sense of, if you want to level up in your career, if you want to level up and do different things in your profession, does your fashion reflect that? And if not, then that's a major component of what you need to do for the life you want to live, right? If you're trying to move up in your career, you need to have suits. You need to have things that match that status that you're trying to achieve. So utilizing platforms like StyleForIt can help you get those pieces that maybe you don't have, and you can incorporate it in your look and your style for that next interview, for those outings that you need to do, that will help you continue to live the life that you want, or live that best life, right? Living your best life, ladies. Next, I always recommend sharing your fashion journey, because I think that we all, like I mentioned earlier, we're all inspiring, motivating, and affecting each other. So what should we do? We should talk about our challenges. We should talk about our successes that we're having in our life, but we should also frame them in our fashion narrative, right? So maybe you bought a bandage dress, right? And you thought it was going to be everything for a date, Maybe it was the most uncomfortable thing you've ever worn in your life, right? Share that with other women. Share, and don't be afraid to share your size and share, those details of numbers, because we're more than our numbers. And ultimately, your knowledge, your insight, your narrative can help another woman on her journey, and it can help her make the right choices and help maybe avoid certain things to do, because you have shared your insight. You've been that influencer for someone else. So share your journey, ladies. Don't keep it to yourself. We're all a community. We're women. We're stronger together, right? So let's be each other's stepping stones. Let's be a support system for each other, and let's influence each other in a positive and community kind of focused way. And I love hearing and reading about other people's fashion choices and what worked, what didn't work, why they love something, because it gives me insight as a consumer as well as an influencer. So share, right? Don't be afraid to share. Next, be excited and maintain a positive attitude. And I say this because for us plus size women, right? It's really unfortunate that fashion has not kept kind of moved up to the speed point where it needs to, where we have more fashion that is essentially applying to the group of people that take up the majority of the space in this country. The majority of women in this country are what? We're plus size. We're wearing size 14, 16 and above. But the majority of fashion retailers and brands do not cater to us. This is a tragedy. This is unfair, and this is unnecessary, because fashion needs to reflect the society for which it's supporting. And currently that's not necessarily the case. We have more and more brands, more and more independent independent designers, which is so amazing, so dope. Everyone in the plus space who's doing it for the right reason. We as consumers, right, we love that. We love that. But we've got to also recognize that when we do get frustrated, when we do get turned down, right? So many celebrities have shared that they won't even, that designers won't dress them and style for them or whatever for their events. That's deplorable. That's disgusting. And when we share that on social media and people get reamed for not doing the right thing, right? That's how we can create change and stuff like that. But in the meantime, we can't lose hope and we can't not have a positive attitude when it comes to our personal style. Be positive, rise above, even when other people aren't choosing to do the same, right? So just be positive, even if you're dealing with a frustration, even if you're like, why is this so hard to find for my size? Yeah, it might suck, but it won't suck forever, right? And the more that you share and the more that you make your voice heard, hopefully brands will be able to accommodate you more and more. And the tide is definitely turning, right? I don't want to paint like a sad picture. The tide is turning. Is it moving fast enough? I think it could move faster, to be honest, right? If I'm being honest, but it's moving. And that's the whole point, that we're going in the right direction. We have more brands opening up and offering plus sizes, which is amazing and a necessity. The average woman is plus size. So, things will keep moving in the right direction, but we just have to continue to stay positive, be forceful in what we want, right? And make our voices heard, use social media to kind of effectuate this point, and then live our best lives with the style that we're creating. And then my last tip is just to remember the bigger picture. So I kind of hinted to this before, in the sense of fashion isn't just something that we think of in a vacuum, right? It's not just like, oh, I'm Natasha, and then, oh, there's Natasha's fashion, right? No, my fashion is incorporated with who I am as a person. It's reflective of my culture. I come from a Caribbean background, right? I come from a background of, I'm a lawyer by trade. I'm a woman who does a lot of online in-person content that I'm making, and I do events, and I'm a public speaker, right? There's a lot of things that I'm doing that I need my fashion to support me, right? Even outside of my business, in my personal life. I have an active lifestyle because I have to work out. I've been diagnosed with hypothyroidism this year. So working out is a part of my life regimen that I need to do. So I need fashion that's going to support me for personal goals, for fitness goals, for my career, for my profession, for the events that I'm doing, for the content that I'm creating, right? My fashion it goes with me everywhere that I go. So I need to always remember, am I making choices that reflect what I want people to think about me and my brand? Am I making choices that are reflective of what I'm trying to accomplish in this world, what I'm trying to accomplish in my career, right? So remember the bigger picture. So that was my narrative. But what's your narrative? How is fashion supporting you? What is it? What are the fashion choices you're making that are defining your brand? Because we all have a brand. We have a personal brand that we're growing and developing. We also can have a brand for our businesses that you may have. If you happen to be an entrepreneur, if you're a representative of the company you work, right? So remember the bigger picture. And that's what we need to focus on, purpose, when it comes to the things that we're doing when we shop, when we expand our closets, or we condense things, right? What's the bigger picture for our fashion narrative that we're building? So that's a big question. I hope you can answer it. And if you have any questions, again, I'm here for you as a resource. StyleForIt.com is definitely a resource. Ladies, sizes 12 to 32. Y'all know where you need to be at. You need to be on StyleForIt.com. All right. So if you have questions, please put them in the comments, because I'm happy to come in here and definitely continue this conversation with you. Go to StyleForIt.com. Ladies, if you're looking for shopping, if you're looking for selling and making money that you already have hanging in your closet, get rid of it. Get clarity, get space in your mind and in your world, right? And then also, if you want to get in touch with me, I would say the best place to reach me would be my website, dressingroom8.com, and I'll put that in the comments as well. So you can always schedule a time to speak with me, check out the content that I'm putting out here. But I just want to reemphasize the fact that, like, style is important, not just for, for influencers or for content creators or, bloggers and stuff like that. It applies to us all, right? We have to live our lives. We got to go to work. We got to drop the kids off off at school. We gotta go and, meet our husbands or boyfriends or first dates, right? Our fashion, like I said, it follows you wherever you go. So just remember that, and remember the presentation you're creating, you are creating it. It's under your purview. So make sure you're shopping in accordance to the way that you want your brand to be created and interpreted as, right? And enjoy the process. I know sometimes, again, it can be frustrating from a perspective of maybe not enough brands are giving us what we need, or maybe enough brands haven't figured out fit right. Maybe enough brands haven't figured out stylistic choices to give us. Don't give up, stay positive, voice your opinion, and be determined. Don't get frustrated, get determined to define and create the style that you want for yourself, because you deserve it. There is nothing more important than catering to you. So I hope that all has made sense for you. If you have questions, like I said, put it here in the comments. I appreciate you for watching this on the live. I appreciate you for watching this on replay. And again, more questions, put them in here. I really, really appreciate your time. And with that, I hope that you continue on either starting or continuing, rather, your fashion journey and creating and defining your personal style, because it's fabulous. So have a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.